In this lecture section, we'll take a look at who actually uses GIS by looking at a case study and some examples. So one of the important things to remember that GIS is not just done by a bunch of robotic automatons in GIS manager offices or in data centers or things like that. They're actually real people who are behind the use of GIS. And in this, we're going to look at the who, the where, the how, and the why related to using GIS from the perspective of the GIS user themselves. And so we're looking here at an example that comes from a company in Australia that's actually called GIS People, which makes a rather nice example of a case study to look at in terms of how one company in the private sector makes use of GIS. So on the screen here, we see that they do geo-enabled digital solutions, they do maps and apps and mobile and cloud technology, and they do some remote sensing, and we'll see some examples of what this all means. So first of all, don't forget the basics. So we need to add the what to the list. So what is GIS? So we're looking at the creation, acquisition, storage, and analysis of spatial data. We also display, we create geospatial projects, and we create products from geospatial technology. And there's been an explosion of geospatial data with new opportunities for spatial approaches to environmental and other problem solving. And so as the technology has increased, as we've seen this semester, one of the things that's happened has been that there's been this massive increase in the amount of data available because everything happens somewhere. And with the ability to track locations so much better today with GPS data and XY coordinate system data being available and so on, we can see lots of examples of new uses and new potential for geospatial problem solving. So the who question. Anyone who needs to solve problems from a spatial viewpoint would be a potential GIS user. Some of the examples here: local government, national government, retailers and distributors, fleet managers, here's where transportation comes in, marketers, property developers, emergency response, transportation, military defense, healthcare, oil and gas, agriculture, forestry, telecommunications, and utilities. And there are lots and lots of examples, as you've seen in your readings this semester. This kind of goes back to some of the topics that were dealt with in Chapter 1. And so in this example, this company looks at how they've used GIS in the case of the city of Brisbane, and it shows an example here of what it is they did. They developed a data capture module for park assets, and the module interfaces with existing park assets databases that are not spatial. In that way, they can link spatial data to attribute information about their parks and use it to integrate a management system. And we see lots of examples of this going on around the world in cases where assets are being managed from a spatial perspective. But where? Anywhere spatial data can be created, acquired, and applied for problem solving. And in this case, we look at desktop, web, and mobile options in terms of the use of geospatial information. And then some of the examples of uses and places where you see it happening: in utilities, in public health and water quality, in urban development, and geospatial uses for environmental management. And if you go to the link under readings, you'll find this website and you can look at it in more detail. So next is the how question. By integrating spatial data and analysis methods into problem solving, how do we actually do that in reality? I think you've gotten an idea throughout the semester of how this works and the important elements that are involved, which would include spatial data, technology, methods, analysis, decision making, as well as cartographic principles when it comes to the display and interpretation of data. And the important thing is that people who work in GIS have to be very aware, once again, of the intended use of the data, what the project is intended to accomplish, what the map is intended to accomplish, and who will be using it. So some of the examples of GIS options beyond ArcGIS include, and Esri products include, some of the open source GIS software such as QGIS and PostGIS and OpenStreetMap. So these are all software packages that would be a very good idea for all of you to take a look at, to get some experience with and understand at least what they do, even just by going online and reading basic articles about the purpose of each one of these mapping tools. And then commercial software, in addition to Esri products, which you've become familiar with in this class, there are products made by Oracle, by MapInfo, and Google Maps, Google Earth Pro, for example. And then there are many more commercial products as well, especially in the area of remote sensing and imagery analysis. So the why question. So why do we see this explosion of the use of GIS? We get back to some of the concepts that we started with at the beginning of the semester, that this is a powerful tool that can open new avenues and approaches to problem solving. Because everything happens somewhere, there's power in thinking in terms of spatial analysis. There's power in spatial thinking. And the application of spatial data can help with decision making and seeing problems in new ways. And again, the improvements in technology and the amount of spatial data available and the ability to integrate spatial and non-spatial data is important. And that's the end of this lecture file. Next week, we'll take a look in lecture file 40 at GIS audience again to revisit some of those concepts.